all, you're very welcome.
Thank you.
This is your home. Do you recognize your own home?
Yes, I do.
This is yours. So take a breather. Just calm down.
Yeah.
This is your home. Take it all in. Take it all in.
Oh.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
So first of all, let me do you, or let me do the honest. Let me do what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
Now, if you're sitting at home and you've always heard me say on this show, Decor Zone, Decor Zone, Decor Zone. This is Decor Zone. So the set is sitting on the set.
Yes. You can say
the
that.
set is sitting on the set. Listen, we are super grateful.
Thank you.
This is super
Thank
beautiful.
you, thank you.
Young ladies like you make other people dream big and make people think that it is actually very possible. Yes. I mean, in the past, we'd only see this in Hollywood.
Yeah.
You see the set in Hollywood and you're like, oh, this is super beautiful.
Yeah.
But it is happening here in Ghana.
Yes.
So TV3 says thank you.
Thank
Today's Woman says thank you very much.
Thank
so
you
one more
too.
time, you're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
I know you a little bit, but the people who are watching, they don't know you. So when we say Anita,
Yes.
who is Anita? And where is even the Okorie from? Is it Nigerian?
No, so I get that a lot.
Because you're Nigerian.
Thank you.
Oh, you're Ghanaian.
Very much so.
Oh, you're Santini.
Meye Kwewuni. And then I'm married to an Obo man. So Okorie is actually an Obo
it's
name.
Okorie.
Okorie.
Oh,
yes.
So it's Anita Okorie.
Okorie,
And you're Okorie.
Oh, it's Okorie.
Okay, Okorie.
Yes.
Thank you for the correction. Yes.
So, well, by virtue of the name, actually, you're not the first person to think I'm Nigerian.
Right.
Because even the Nigerians actually say Okorie.
Okorie.
Yes.
Okay.
So, I'm married to an Obo man. I'm Kwewu. Business.
I understand now. It makes a whole lot of sense now.
Yes.
I see. Anyway, so before marriage, let's just go back in time.
Okay.
I want to get to know you better.
Okay.
Where you grew up from, your parents. Kwewu 4D. So did you grow up in Kwewu, Accra, whatever it is?
Okay.
Let us into it. Where did you grow up?
So I was born in Nkoko.
Oh.
Actually, yes. The first 6 years of my life, I actually lived in Nkoko with my grandmother. And we moved to Accra. So I'm sort of like a Dansuman girl because we were in DC for many years. And due to certain circumstances, like my mom was a single mom at the time, so we had to move a lot.
Okay.
So I've moved from several schools, from St. John's to boarding school. I actually started boarding school in class 1.
Are you joking?
No.
Right from class 1?
Right from class 1.
Boarding school?
Boarding school, yes.
She was too busy. Anna.
Partly. And I mean, times were very rough growing up.
Imagine.
Yes, times were very rough. So, I mean, she had to put me there for... I'm sure we'll get to talk about it sometime. But then, yes, as a result of that, I had to be in the boarding house for some time. And then, as I said, we moved around a lot. But we ended up, I think, from class 2 thereabout, I was in St. Anthony's, class 4 in St. Anthony's, 7th grade. So we moved.
Yeah, we're moving around
too much.
St. Anthony's and 7th grade. I know all those schools.
St. Anthony's, I did both old sites and new sites.
You must be kidding. So in all of this, were you doing it with your siblings? And now you're the only one who was born at the time.
My siblings.
How many
it was
of you?
just the younger one who wasn't. So we are 3.
Okay. So with all these movements, was it just you or you had other siblings?
I have an older brother and then a younger brother.
Okay.
Yes.
To know when come home and moving from 7th grade to St. Anthony's.
Yes. I would say my younger brother is the one who actually enjoyed more because when he came on board, things were a little bit okay.
Settled
so
and all that.
He was in Martin de Porres from class 1 all the way through to
He had
GSS.
consistency in his life.
Yes, he had some consistency.
Wow, I see. So then from 7th grade to St. Anthony's to which SS?
So I went to Ebri Girls.
Big person high. Okay.
I went to Ebri Girls. Then I had the opportunity to travel out on AFS, so I actually did a year abroad.
Hold on. But in Ebri Girls, you must have some memories.
Oh, yes.
Do you remember your best friends from school?
They're still my friends, actually. Yes.
Oh, you don't do the no new friends. Eh? You don't do. You are that type. No new friends. Old friends are the best.
Old friends certainly are the best, but
Right.
I love meeting new people all the time. So I definitely have a lot of friends and acquaintances, but I still keep to my, you know, we've been
Your
best
circle,
friends.
your inner circle.
Yes, the inner
you still
caucus is
keep
still
to
there.
them. I see. Which headmistress do you remember the most?
So we went, I think it was Zot.
Okay.
Zot, and then just before we left, Asempa came in. Yeah.
I love the fact that you said, No, which one was it?
I'm sure my mates watching know what the meant.
No, but tell me, I want to understand what the is.
Hey,
what did you do?
Meant, you know, Asempa is one of the headmistresses. In fact, the only one who managed to seize all Valentine gifts. What I mean, it was the very first time.
From Presec.
From everywhere. you see all the EMS trucks coming in, and this woman says, pack every truck. All the gifts are coming to me. And you know how girls' school is. You have so many gifts coming in on Valentine's Day. Everybody's waiting for their gift. And then this woman says, no one is getting a gift.
So you got
today.
none of it?
Hey, no.
Till today?
Oh, she seized every one of
them. She didn't even release it after Valentine's.
All the letters, read all of them. And look, you don't want to know. My friends, I'm sure know.
When they say, Are you kidding?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
How did you feel then?
Oh, for me, it wasn't such a problem because I
was
not
expecting
anyway.
Yeah. Then it's okay.
I wasn't happy for those whose gifts were seized though, but I mean, I didn't really have any cause.
Oh wow, too bad for all of you who didn't get your Val's Day gifts. But yeah, life has moved on. I'm sure you're getting better and bigger ones
yes,
now.
I'm sure they are.
All right. So then you mentioned AFS.
Yes.
So
it's American Field Service. You get to do a year abroad.
Right.
So I was in Wisconsin for a year. I did a year of high school, and that was, in fact, I would say one of the life-changing moments in my life because it turned a new leaf. It exposed me. I became more confident. I'm still struggling a little bit. I'm a very shy person by nature, but I feel that year abroad was everything
in Wisconsin.
For me.
You
yes,
mean?
We went to Wisconsin.
What program did you offer, and what was the turning point in your whole demeanor?
Yes.
I mean, being a lot more outspoken and all that.
So you know, growing up back then, I think now is a little bit different.
Okay.
Where you don't have the liberty or the freedom to be who you are or express yourself, especially growing up. So I had issues with confidence a lot. I couldn't speak up even with my teachers. And I get there and I see how these kids are relating to even the principal. Right. One of the shockers of my life was getting to school and seeing one of the students calling, hey, William, come here. And I'm like,
that was the principal.
So I'm asking, who is that? And I get to find out that is the principal. I said, how can you just do, yeah, you know? And I realized that it just created an environment where the kids could feel free, be themselves. And as I said, it was a life-changing experience for me. Yes.
You were coming from a totally different culture.
Totally.
Where police, may patrol and all that would precede anything that you would have to say. And you dare not call Mrs. or Miss Asempa. Is it Miss or Mrs. Asempa?
Mrs. Asempa
How do you go and say, hey,
come here?
That would have been your end in the
definitely,
school.
Definitely.
Also, that's what changed your demeanor, boosted your confidence.
I mean, it didn't take away what I had been brought out to be an obedient girl. Or it didn't take away that, but I realized that you can actually have a meaningful conversation with someone who is your principal.
Right.
Whereas, you know, where you're brought up, you can't really, you're scared to even approach your principal, your headmistress, even your teacher.
Right.
If you have something, an idea to share, it was almost impossible. For me, I don't know about the others, but for me, it was very difficult. So, as I say, it was the life-changing moment in my life. And from there, everywhere I went to, things started getting better.
Right.
Yes.
So, in your mind, in Wisconsin, what was it that you were going to do? In your mind, you thought you would have been who? A lawyer, doctor, motivational speaker.
So
I watch your Instagram sometimes. You're very positive. What did you think you were going to become?
So I always wanted to be, I don't know why, but I thought I would be a bilingual secretary. I loved languages, actually, growing up. I loved languages. And I wanted to go into broadcasting, actually.
Okay.
That was when I decided I wanted to go into broadcasting.
Should we change positions?
Oh, no. You see how skeptical I was of it coming on sets here. So I always loved it. I loved Oprah Winfrey. She was one of the ladies, women I looked up to a lot, and I loved how confident her story. So when I gained a little bit of that confidence, it was something that I really thought, you know, that was a line or a path I could actually go on. But life was to tell me something else.
God had a different plan,
you know,
altogether. I see. So apart from English, because you mentioned linguistics, can you speak any other languages?
Oh, I learned to.
Now, the
So yeah, I did Spanish and I actually did French as well, but I
get it. So in all of this, I'm very surprised Décor hasn't even popped up yet in all the sequence that you've given me. So at what point did Décor come in?
So I naturally, I feel it's innate, a little bit of it, because I like to put things together. I like to organize a lot. Back in Ebri, I was the organizing secretary for Gunsa. So I like to put things together to organize. But as I said, the shyness was a little bit too much. So there were a lot of things that I couldn't do. But when it comes to Décor, I feel that it's been with me, because even at home, you'd see me putting things together. Where I believe the passion grew for me is when I got the opportunity to manage, when I came back to Ghana actually, I got an opportunity to manage a penthouse at Villaggio. And my boss at the time, he used to live in California, so very exposed, he was, I think, an interior decorator as well. And that is where, for me,
the passion came.
Because I didn't even still at the time work with it, but I just loved. So I would see something, and I'm the kind of person, when I see nice things, I always want to have a bit of it in my environment. So I would see how he'd set up the place. I'll go home and then say, oh, ma, I feel so we should move it around or buy something. I saw this thing and it's nice, let's put it here. So that is what's propelled me.
Anita, but these things don't come easy. I mean, when I come to Décor Zone and I ask for this, it's this much. I ask for this, it's this much. You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking you, the importer, the person who brings all these pieces. It must be capital intensive.
Very.
How did you raise the money?
Very, very. So as I said, my mom, I didn't mention that my mom is one of my role models as well.
She is?
Yes. So I mentioned how we struggled, you know, by the grace of God, things got better with work. So as growing up, she's a very strong woman. She's a believer of there's nothing you can do. You set or put your mind to it, you can do it. So she's into business. That's also where the drive came from. So we were already in business before Décor Zone. So I don't know if I've mentioned AF Electricals. We are also into lighting.
Yes, electricals as well.
Yes.
So wait. So AF started before Décor Zone.
Yes.
So AF Electricals belongs to Mommy?
Yes.
Oh,
it does. Oh yeah, well, hostel cra. Your Opera Square. Yes, it started from there.
I see. So that's when you got into the whole decor lighting.
The lighting bit. And so a lot of the things started connecting.
Right.
You know, from the travels, from working with this interior designer here in Ghana.
The
from
exposure.
The exposure, yes. All of those. So even when after school, I decided to come home and work with Mommy because I realized that, look, I'm not cut out for sitting at one place. So the business was already there. I felt like, look, let's try and expand. Let's try and get in. So we started with lighting.
Okay.
So sometime in 2000 or 2011, 2012, we decided to try, you know, adding on new products because it was mainly PVC pipes. My mom was known as the pipe woman at Opera Square.
Pipe woman. So when I get there and I say I'm looking for the pipe woman, everybody would direct me there.
Yes, I mean, you would see her in her truck sending, like, distributing PVC pipes from Accra to Tamale.
Wow.
Yes.
I see.
Yes.
But that has nothing to do with lighting, Anameboa.
It doesn't. So I felt, as I said after school, I felt that, look, we can expand. The industry is very big. We can do so much more. And that is what actually even opened us up, because you realize that there's a lot of, it's a very diverse industry. So we have lights, we have switches, accessories. We can't limit ourselves to just this. So right after school, I told her, look, let's try and get into other things.
Okay.
And working with my mom, one of the things is that she's so receptive to the new things and ideas. I believe that after she took me to school, that's the least I can give back. Yes. Yeah. So I actually still work with her.
Okay.
Yes, I still work
with her. All
right.
So I know you started with a Wager branch.
Yes.
How many branches do you have now?
So
but why all the way Wager? I've always wanted to ask you, you know how difficult it was in the beginning?
Yes.
Anita would always ask me, Cookie, come and buy this, come and buy that. And I said, Anita, traffic, but why Wager? Because I know the pipe thing was in Makola.
Yes.
You didn't think of starting in Makola. Okay, so why Wager?
So first of all, Mommy built in Wager.
Okay.
And after I came back, I realized that there's opportunity. There's a developing area, very vast. And if you look at that stretch, it leads you all the way to Ivory Coast. I mean, if you're going all that, so it's a very attractive place, and we're just by the roadside. So that was one of the main reasons that, okay, we can serve the market from there. We have the Swedru, Kaswa, Winneba, that market. Okay. So for AF, I feel it did very well. But when we started Décor Zone, it was a bit of a challenge, because even though it set out to serve the market over there, because I realized there was nothing of the sort on that stretch. Right. We ended up still attracting people from Spinters, from East Legon, from, because we also decided to use social media. Okay. So we're able to attract more people.
That's how you were able to get me to drive all the way to Wager. But maybe I take it was probably a new development or settlement for the people over there. And maybe that wasn't the target. The target market wasn't there. Yes. That's why you were still driving all the East Legoners and the Spintex people all the way there. Yes. So I'm sure that's why, but explain to me why you have the East Legon branch now. Yes. How frustrating did it get for all of us to be coming there and be complaining? I used to complain a whole lot. How many complaints did you used to get in a day?
In fact, someone actually offered me their home that, you can even come and set up in my space. So yes, it did get frustrating. We had too many. You won't believe it was actually my nanny. We went for a party one day, and everybody was like, oh, I've seen Décor Zone. A friend was introducing us. I've seen Décor Zone. Oh, wow. So we get home, and my nanny is like, auntie, person me can't some show. So I'm like, I did that, yes. So auntie, ubenya baby will chroma. I'm saying, kayem baby will chrome, because the way people like the products that you are offering, the kind of setup you do. So why don't we do something like that in town? So I discussed with my husband, whom I work with. I discussed with him and told him that, baby, I think we should consider having a space in town. To the glory of God, I think.
Hallelujah, somebody. I'm a testimony. I was there at the launch of the East Legon branch, and it has everything decor that you're looking for. I remember the first time I walked into IKEA in London and then IKEA in China. Yes. I nearly went crazy. Yes. The way they've designed IKEA, you would have to go through every spot before you go out. That's the way they've designed it. Yes. And I'm asking because in Ghana here, you know your biggest competitor. They are huge. When you wake up in the morning and you know there's a bigger competitor out there, how do you feel?
Oh, so I like that you mentioned the IKEA. That's the dream.
That's the dream, right? I'm connected. I'm connected. And that's my prayer for you, though. That's my prayer. To have a place like IKEA, it would be a dream come true.
Yes, that's it. Competition. The truth of the matter is that they have been there even way longer before us. And to even know that people think about us. I've had people tell me, oh, I went there and someone from there said they can...
You should come here.
I'm like, look, it's a blessing that people think of us as the next best alternative. Yeah. I'm not comfortable, but I'm happy with that we are even recognized. It means there's something we are doing right, because I don't see us as big. I mean, not yet. Right. So for people to consider us as key players within that sphere, then it's a good thing. So honestly, yes, there are times, and they wouldn't actually be the only one. There are lots of other multinationals coming into the market. Yeah. I always say, what are we offering? Right. What is it that makes you different? What is it that makes you special? It's just a few things. Right. I try to show people what it is that, you know, these pieces are, how they can actually elevate or give your space that warmth that you need. Our spaces, we spend a lot of time at home, the kids, so you need to have your space looking good. It speaks to you.
Right.
It kind of brings out the best in you when you enter your space. You know how it feels like when you go into a hotel room and it's all cozy. Exactly. We can now have that.
And we have that here. We have that here.
Yes.
I remember when I came to the East Legon opening.
Yes.
Yeah, last year.
Yes.
That was when I actually told you that I have a new show coming up. So
yes.
girl, get
Yes,
ready to
yes.
do me bougie. So tell me, I mean, and it was later on. We didn't even quite start at that time. So it was later on that I had to call you again and I said, Anita, the time is here and the time is now. Tell me, what inspired you to be able to put this together for today's woman? Tell me.
Wow. So, to be honest, I usually consider a few things.
Okay.
The guest, the host.
Right.
Whose space is it? So, it's the today's woman. Today's woman is someone who is strong, bold. So I thought about some of the colors that can actually, you know, bring out who a woman or today's woman is.
Right.
And you already had a nice space. Yes.
Okay.
So that was one of the good things. And so I just thought of pieces. You have the woman figurine over there.
Yeah.
You have nature, that's the plant or the potted plants by it, a little bit of flower. So the girly pink flower there giving us that vibe. You have the lip over there.
Yeah, of course.
So, yes.
Our lips and lipstick and all that.
If it was a male host set, I probably wouldn't put some of them, but then it depicts the woman.
Right.
So I cannot think about all of that and put them into consideration when I'm doing a set or styling a space.
Thank you very much. We're super grateful here.
Thank you.
I mean, crew, host, everyone on this production, we are all super grateful that you brought it into fruition. But I take a look at your Instagram and I realize you render other services as well.
Yes.
I saw you go all the way to America to go and decorate someone's home. You have those services available too?
Yes, within Ghana, yes, and America happened because I was in the space and my friend's house, so it helped me to put the space together. Yes, so we do. Every now and then we have people come in and say, look, I have a space. I like nice things, but I don't really know how to put them together. And that is one of the things we realize as being challenging for a lot of people. I have people buy like this plant.
But who baby offensive?
Look, apart from baby or the basic no, they don't know. I've had people walk into the shop and say, "Now we cry, dear, you know." So people see them on social media, they see them on Pinterest, and they really do like them, but they don't know how to
put them
position
together.
them. Yes, they don't know how to. So we do offer that service where if you need to, we can actually come into your space and help you with that. Or if you call us, we can actually do free consultation as well. But that's by appointment because sometimes I may not be available. But then once you ask us, we definitely can help.
Anita, when I think about you and I think about Décor and I think about imports, I think about breakage.
Yes.
Ebi o how the bar, utumi bokasa pa.
Yes.
It happens.
It happens. It happens.
What do you do when that happens?
The hazard in our business. I mean, you have to find a way of factoring all of that in. As you said, some of these things are breakable. Only good thing about it is that they are not perishable. So, but then definitely, we've had a consignment from Turkey where almost half of the goods in the container were broken when we took them out. So you
what
can.
What did you say?
I told you I have a strong mother.
Right. Thank God
who
for
has
mommy.
done business for many years. And usually when I go through some of these things and I call her, she's like, don't worry
That's
about
a strong
it. And
mother.
yes.
No, crowd him the lights, papa, and then the pipes are papa, you know.
A whole batch of, let's say, 10,000 pipes, you know, so the experience of having someone that I can just, you know, and my husband is also a great support. I mean, we work together, and so that helps a lot. That helps a lot when all these things come up. In business, they are bound to happen. So when you have good support system, that helps. Yeah.
Thank God for mommy. and I'm grateful that you also have a good head on your shoulders. Yes. Anyway, so there are many young women, I would always say, watching you. But first of all, before we even get to the message to the young women, if you look back 20, 30 years back, what would you tell your younger self? What would you have changed?
So I have a 10-year-old.
Okay.
With this question that you just asked, I have a 10-year-old.
Oh, the one who says
no, that was the 5-year-old. So my daughter is 10,
okay.
and just recently I spoke to her because this question came up.
Okay.
That, you know, what would I tell my
younger self?
Yes. So I started with her on an exercise that, look, every day I need you to write something that there is nothing in this world that if you put your mind to, you cannot do. So I'm trying very hard to get her to believe in herself. So what I would have told myself back then, or what I would tell myself, is that believe more in yourself, that there is nothing that you set out to do that you cannot do.
Right.
That with God, all things are possible. Believe it.
Right.
Because when we go to church, we are told, we leave the church, say amen, but we don't actually believe it. So I wish I believed it more back then, because I believe some challenges that, you know, I went through I wouldn't have, or I would have navigated them better. But all in all, I believe they're all part of the experiences in life.
I see.
Yes.
So the dream is the big IKEA dream.
Oh, yes.
But do we have more branches coming up?
Fingers crossed, yes, hopefully.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
Okay.
We have the Kumasi people calling all the
we
time.
Have to go to Kumasi.
Yes, we have
to.
You see, the only unfortunate part is that they all live here in Accra, and then they only go on the weekends.
I remember when I wanted to, but no, was it the console I wanted? And somebody, oh dear, yeah, Becca suffered later. It was so painful. But Anita, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
I hope you're not going to change your mind.
Oh no.
This is season 1. So season 2, I'm sure we'll see something different.
Oh yes.
Okay.
That's the beauty of
we are
Décor
looking forward. And I'll be next week. I'll be best you know, we'll be grateful anyway. But thank you so much. It's been nice catching up with you and listening to your story. But if there were 3 words you would give today's woman, or the younger today's woman out there, that's your camera. What would those 3 words be?
3 words or a sentence?
3 words.
God first. Be God maniac. Believe in yourself. There is nothing that you can't do. Right. I don't know if it were words.
Right.
But yeah,
we understand.
If that's good enough, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
But I won't let you go just yet.
Okay.
This corner that you created yourself, I'm going to take you into that corner for a little activity. So just hold on for me. Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a breather. We'll be right back to finish this conversation with Anita Okorie. I got it right.
You got it
time.
right.
We'll be right back. This is Today's Woman.